Hi guys, Rock21 here, and even if you've only watched just a couple of my videos, you've probably already figured out that I am a humongous 70s Aerosmith fan. And I just think it's a crying shame that a lot of people only know them for a lot of their later stuff, in like the 90s and 2000s, all those corny pop hits and cheesy ballads. But trust me, look back on Aerosmith's 70s roots, and they're as hardcore rock band as you'll ever find. Cool, sexy, strutting, swaggering, sleazy, gnarly, jagged, nasty, raunchy, funky, boozed up, drugged out, all-American rock and roll brilliance. In their heyday, hardly anything could touch them. And the same five guys who are in their 60s and are in the band right now are the same five guys who formed the band in Boston 48 years ago. No band has really defined rock and roll as well as Aerosmith to me. And over the years, they've become one of my favorite bands of all time. So now I give you top 11 Aerosmith songs of the 1970s. Same Old Song and Dance is a notable track for a good number of reasons. First of all, it was probably the first Aerosmith song I ever heard in my whole life, even before Dream On and Walk This Way. Also, it was the first Aerosmith single and a long line of singles to be written by Joe Perry and Steven Tyler. Other Aerosmith singles written by this classic duo are Walk This Way, Draw the Line, and Back in the Saddle. Also, I just love this track because of how Aerosmith it is. It totally defines their sound in the 70s. Swaggering, strutting rhythm, check. A nasty, slippery guitar riff from Joe Perry, check. Cool, nonchalant, drawled out vocals from Steven Tyler, check. Just add in some sassy, brassy horns and you got one hell of a track. If y'all watched my album review to Aerosmith's 1977 album, Draw the Line, you probably know that in the recording of this album, Aerosmith was not having fun. Drug problems, relationship problems, all sorts of problems were plaguing the band at this point in time. But that just makes it so much more amazing that in this rough period of time, they were still able to write such a colossal, monumental, gorgeous epic such as Kings and Queens. And since I've already talked about this one song for like 2.5 minutes straight in the review, I'll try to keep this summary a bit short. Kings and Queens is a heavy, plodding monster of a ballad. Exotic, mysterious, and absolutely fantastic. The vivid, powerful imagery of knights and castles, along with the use of unique, unorthodox instruments, is fascinating and almost seems to transport you back into the time of Kings and Queens. Kings and Queens is experimentation done in all the right ways, and is an epic for the ages. The Bad Boys from Boston are the funkiest white dudes around, and Rox's Last Child may be the funkiest cut to date. Its first 20-ish seconds trick you into preparing for an emotional power ballad, but quickly breaks down into a strutting, bluesy stomp with enough swagger to knock a house down. It's also Brad Whitford's signature tune, which he plays lead guitar on. This right here is the real nitty-gritty. Has a slinky, sexy guitar riff that's just too cool, and it's no wonder that's probably one of my favorite Aerosmith songs of all time, on my favorite Aerosmith album of all time. Great pick. How could I leave it off? Yardbird's done it, Led Zeppelin's done it, and best of all, Aerosmith's done it. There's been dozens of artists who've covered the classic rock and roll song Train Kept A-Rollin', but there's no doubt about it, Aerosmith's version is the best version. It's a perfect example of an artist taking an old classic song, grabbing it by the balls, shaking it around, and making it their own. Much like Skinner's version of Call Me the Breeze. The song starts out kinda slow with Tyler rapping, confident as ever, but it's really towards the middle when this locomotive really starts picking up steam, racing down the tracks like a runaway bullet train. The soloing and overall guitar work on the song is masterful. And it's also a very important song in the formation of Aerosmith, as it's the only song that all 5 members of the band could play at their first meeting. It's a great take on a classic song and definitely one of the best Aerosmith songs of all time. Ooh, I really wanted to put this one higher, but Aerosmith just made so many great classic songs that I had to put it just at 7. But still, I love Mama Kin. It's pure, unadulterated, bare to bones, raw rock and roll brilliance at its best. And yet it's so simple, but that's the beauty in it. It's just so rock and roll. No bells, no whistles, nothing fancy. It's just rock and roll. Everything about it rocks. It's a cool little song. And yeah, it's simple, but that doesn't mean it can't be great. And I think it is a truly great song. I must have listened to it like over 900 times in the past year and a half. And I can tell you, it's never gotten old. The subtle use of saxophones is cool as ever. Lyrics are cool. Riff is beyond awesome. I love every little thing about this song. And it's probably my personal favorite Aerosmith song of all time. I absolutely love it. As I said before, Aerosmith was kind of on the downward slide towards 1977, but you would have no idea they were making epic gems, just the frazzle whacked out. I Want to Know Why, the previously mentioned masterpiece, Kings and Queens, and of course, Draw the Line title track, Draw the Line. It's pure, lion-hearted rock and roll, loud, energetic, jagged, and raw, with more hair on its balls than a 2-ton muskox. It's another one with one hell of a riff and some great slide guitar, too. Everything about this song is just so exciting and cool, so it's no wonder that Aerosmith still lugs this one out in concerts today. Oh, and the way Steven screeches out the entire last verse, I swear, gives me goosebumps every time. Man, this song rocks. Hey, lame 90s Aerosmith ballads, come check this out. This is how you do a ballad right here. Seasons of Wither is just amazing. Joe Perry once said it was the only slow song he ever liked playing. It's hauntingly beautiful, dark, and gorgeous. One of the most exquisite acoustic songs you'll ever hear from a rock and roll band, or pretty much anyone, really. The way the intro of the wind blowing slowly fades into the acoustic guitar literally sends chills up and down my spine. It's just that great. It's a lovely song, yet still mysterious and dark. Seasons of Wither is an underrated masterpiece. Making a better album after 1975's Toys in the Attic is a tough task. But somehow Aerosmith did it with 1976's Rocks. The first album I ever reviewed on this YouTube channel, one of my favorite albums of all time, and one of the greatest hard rock albums ever. So of course it needs to start in the most spectacular way possible. Oh, and it does. Back in the Saddle is one of the greatest Aerosmith songs of all time. Everything about it is just larger than life, from the booming bass to the epic guitar riff to the yodeling to the sexy raunchy lyrics to the climactic intro, to everything about it is so energetic, exciting, loud. It's just an awesome song. It's literally started almost every single one of their concerts off since 1976, and it's just a truly great song. How could I possibly have any list of Aerosmith songs without mentioning Walk This Way? It is a stone cold classic. It is the definitive example of what every good Aerosmith song should be. Rockin', funky, raunchy, swaggering, with just a little drop of humor in there. We all take this song for granted because we've all heard it a bajillion times already, but it really is a terrific song. It boasts one of the finest guitar riffs of all time. Its lightning-fast rhymes practically invented rap music. And, of course, Joey Kramer's cool-as-ever drum fill, which is still being sampled by young artists today. It not only was the song that shot Aerosmith to stardom, but it was also the song that pulled them out of the rut in the mid-'80s. It is just as cool now in 2018 as it was in 1975. It's still the same song. It's still timeless. It's still an awesome song. It will never get old. It is an absolutely timeless rock and roll classic that will be remembered forever. And it's only number 3. Oh, here's a song you've probably never heard of. Dream On. Okay. All sarcasm aside, this song is fantastic. But you just gotta look past the fact of how overplayed it is and look at it as the marvelous masterpiece it truly is. It paved the way for all rock ballads that came after it. The guitar work between Joe and Brad is gorgeous. Its lyrics are insightful, thoughtful, and inspiring, and Steven's vocal performance is beyond passionate. So, I guess not that bad for being written by a guy in his early 20s. This song is another track that is completely timeless, one that will never age. Dream On is probably one of the greatest songs ever written, and definitely one of the greatest Aerosmith songs of all time. But there is one song that tops it. And now, for my number 1 pick of the top 11 Aerosmith songs of the 1970s is none other than the one, the only, Sweet Emotion. Gosh, what is there to say about this song? It's just awesome. Not only is it one of their most popular songs, but it also just never ever seems to get boring or dull. It's just as spectacular each time I hear it, from the seductive, drugged-out, psychedelic intro with that epic bass line of Tom Hamilton's, to the distorted talk box of Joe Perry, and the way that crunchy, nasty guitar riff cuts straight into the song like a hot knife through butter, and the way it weaves in and out between the spat-out vocals. Has to be one of the greatest guitar tracks the Bad Boys from Boston have ever laid down. Everything about this song is just so cool. Has there ever really been a more perfect hard rock song than Sweet Emotion? It is, hands down, the greatest song Aerosmith has ever recorded, and certainly, most definitely, deserves its spot as number 1. So that was my list of the top 11 Aerosmith songs of the 1970s. And if you disagree with my list, then you can just make your own, post in the comment section below, and I'll be glad to read it. And if you want to stay tuned in for more videos like this, hit that subscribe button, like this video, and I'll be making more. And thanks for your time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye! Many of you guys are probably watching the 52nd Super Bowl this night, which is the Philadelphia Eagles versus the New England Patriots. And while we're on the topic of Aerosmith still, both Joe Perry and Steven Tyler have their very own Super Bowl commercials this year. So while you're watching commercials, make sure to watch out for those toxic twins, and hope you guys all enjoy the game. See you guys.